Have you ever wondered what port forwarding is and how it works? Well, let me enlighten you. Port forwarding is a clever networking technique that acts as a virtual postman, if you will. It directs data flow from an external network, such as the internet, to a specific device on an internal network, say your home or office network. Now, you might be thinking, why is this important? Well, it plays a crucial role in ensuring that data reaches the correct destination. Think of it as a grand orchestrator, managing the flow of information in a network symphony. Without port forwarding, your online gaming experience, remote desktop access, or even web server operation could be severely affected. In essence, port forwarding is like a diligent postman in the realm of networking, ensuring that data, like mail, reaches the right address within the bustling city of interconnected devices and networks. Just like a postman delivering mail to the correct house, port forwarding ensures data gets to the right device. Think of your router as a post office, sorting and directing the incoming and outgoing data. Just like the postmaster, your router has a crucial role in the process of port forwarding, but instead of letters and parcels, it deals with data packets. The router, in essence, is a traffic director. It determines where each data packet should go based on the IP address and the port number. Now let's break down these two critical components, IP addresses and port numbers. An IP address, or Internet Protocol address, is a unique identifier assigned to each device on a network. It's like the street address of your home. Without it, your data wouldn't know where to go or where it came from. Now onto port numbers. If the IP address is your home's street address, then the port number is akin to the individual living in that house. Your router uses port numbers to identify specific applications or services within your device. There can be thousands of these, each receiving and sending their own data packets, and your router needs to know which is which. Now, how does this all tie into port forwarding? Well, when you set up port forwarding on your router, you're essentially giving specific instructions to this diligent postmaster. You're telling it that any data packets received on a certain port should be directed to a specific device on your network. This can be crucial for online gaming, remote desktop access, or even hosting your own website. So let's say you're hosting a game server. When your friends send data to your public IP address, your router needs to know which device to send that data to. By setting up port forwarding, you're telling your router, hey, any data that comes in for this game, send it to my gaming console. And just like that, your router, like a diligent postmaster, ensures all data packets reach their correct destination. It sifts through the sea of information, directing traffic and keeping your network running smoothly. So, your router is the diligent postmaster, ensuring all data packets reach their correct destination. Why do we need port forwarding, you ask? Well, that's a great question, and it's one that we'll explore in depth right now. Imagine you're a network administrator and you're running a web server. You want to allow external users to access your server, but you don't want to expose your entire network to potential security risks. This is where port forwarding comes into play. It allows you to direct incoming traffic to a specific device on your network, like your server, through a specific port. This way, you're not exposing all your devices to the outside world, just the one you need to. Now let's take a look at another scenario. You're at home and you're a keen gamer. You've just bought the latest multiplayer game and you're eager to play with your friends, but there's a problem. Your friends can't connect to your game because your router is blocking incoming connections. Once again, port forwarding saves the day. By forwarding the specific ports your game uses, you can allow your friends to connect to your game without opening up your entire network to potential threats. Port forwarding also plays a crucial role when it comes to remote access. Say you're traveling but you need to access your home computer. With port forwarding, you can set up a secure connection to your home network, allowing you to access your files and documents from anywhere in the world. But it's not just about convenience. Port forwarding also improves security. By limiting access to certain ports, you can keep unwanted traffic out of your network. This means you can reduce the risk of cyber attacks and ensure that your network stays secure. So as you can see, port forwarding is a vital tool in our digital toolbox. It helps us to connect our devices, play our games, and access our files, all while keeping our networks secure. Port forwarding, therefore, makes our digital lives not only easier but also safer. Now that we've established the why, let's delve into the how. How does port forwarding work? Well, it all starts with setting up a static IP address. This is an unchanging address that your router assigns to a specific device on your network. It's like giving your device a permanent seat at the table, ensuring that the router always knows where to send the data. To set up a static IP address, you'll need to access your device's network settings. Every device is a little different, but generally you'll find these settings in the Network and Internet section. From there, you can manually assign an IP address, making sure it matches the format of your router's IP address. Now, with your static IP address set up, it's time to move on to the router's settings. This is where you'll need to tread carefully. You're about to tell your router to send any incoming data on a specific port to a specific device. Accessing your router's settings is typically done through a web browser. You'll need to enter your router's IP address into the address bar. This usually looks something like 192.168.1.1e, but can vary depending on your router's manufacturer. Once you've accessed your router's settings, you'll need to find the section for port forwarding. This may also be labeled as virtual servers, NAT, or applications and gaming, depending on your router's interface. Once you're in the right place, you'll need to specify the port number to forward. This is the doorway that you want to open up to the outside world. Remember, different applications use different ports, so make sure you're forwarding the correct one. After specifying the port number, you'll need to enter the static IP address of the device you want the data sent to. This is why we set up a static IP address in the first place. It ensures that the router knows exactly where to send the data, no matter what other devices may come and go from your network. Finally, you'll need to specify the protocol for the port. This will either be TCP, UDP, or both, depending on the application you're using. Once you've entered all this information, save your settings and you're done. Your router will now forward any incoming data on the specified port to the specified device. While the process may seem a bit technical, it's actually quite straightforward once you understand the basics. And remember, it's always important to exercise caution when altering your router's settings. It's a bit like directing traffic. One wrong move and you could cause a data pileup. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility, so always tread carefully when adjusting your router's settings. Let's regroup and go over what we've learned today. We embarked on a journey to demystify the concept of port forwarding, and I dare say we've come a long way. We started by exploring what port forwarding is. We discovered it's a method of making a computer on your home or business network accessible to computers on the internet, even though they are behind a router. In essence, it's like giving a specific computer a direct line to the internet, bypassing the usual detour through the router. Next, we dived into the role of routers in this process. We likened routers to a sort of postmaster, directing incoming internet traffic and sending it to the correct device. Port forwarding, then, is like giving the postmaster specific instructions for handling packages for a particular device. We then moved on to the reasons why one might use port forwarding. We learned that it's particularly useful for online gaming, running a web server, or accessing your home network remotely. These are all situations where you want a device to have a direct line to the internet without the interference of the router's standard security measures. Finally, we delved into the process of setting up port forwarding. We learned that while the specifics can vary depending on your router, the basic steps involve logging into your router, finding the port forwarding section, and entering the necessary information. This includes the IP address of the device you want to forward to, the port numbers, and the type of protocol. So we've taken the mystery out of port forwarding. We've seen how it's a valuable tool for enhancing our online experiences and how, with a little know-how, it's something we can set up ourselves. And all of this thanks to the hard-working postman of the internet. So, next time you're gaming or accessing your home network remotely, remember the hard-working postman of the internet, port forwarding.